Let's get it cracking. Let's do some Black financial channels. All right. So tell me, guys, let's start off. I'm going to ask you a simple question. How many of you have been investing consistently like we talked about? I told you guys that the stock market is setting records right now. And the thing about it is that it's also the key to wealth. I've talked to you guys about this a lot. You guys know that's my specialty. I wrote my dissertation on the stock market, and I've written a lot of original research papers on the stock market, right? So in case you don't know, writing a research paper on the stock market requires you to actually push the frontier of knowledge. That means you can't just regurgitate what people already know. You actually have to add to the body of knowledge. So I've literally discovered things in the stock market. That's what you have to do to write a dissertation and all this stuff. So one of the things I've always told you guys, because you guys know I'm Black first, so put your hashtag B1 in the chat, is that I've told you guys that stock market investing is one of the easiest ways to start the wealth building process. It's also one of the keys to closing this wealth gap. The reason the wealth gap grows is because wealthy people are putting their money in stocks, and the rest of us are putting our money into student loans. So they're going forward, you're going backward, and they're going 100 miles an hour forward, you're going 200 miles an hour backward. Well, who do you think is going to win that race, right? So that's why I'm pretty firm and pretty clear and pretty confident in telling you that this should be part of your long-term plan. And in fact, actually, when we put together the Black agenda, one of the aspects of the Black agenda, the all Black agenda, not just the Black agenda, is basically there's the $5 a day investing plan that I put on there. There's a link to that. So the URL is theallblackagenda.com. So feel free to go there. There are resources to help you in your journey to closing gaps without waiting for Joe Biden, without waiting for Black leadership, without waiting for everybody else. You can just do this yourself. Okay, so let's break down what's going on in the stock market real quick. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit that thumbs up button. It's really important. If you haven't done it yet, please do that. We're growing Black media. We want to build $1 billion empire, and I would love to have your support on this. So if you could just at least hit that thumbs up button, that's extremely important. All right, so here's some stuff going on in the stock market right now. Today was an amazing day. I mean, today was just off the chain. It was great. It was so much fun. Today, these are the good days. You know, these are the days when you wake up. I don't know if anybody else did this. I swear, I kid you not. I did this. I woke up, and when I saw how much my portfolio had gone up, I said, oh, this is a glitch. Like, this isn't real, right? I really thought that. Did anybody else feel that way? Like, you saw how much money you made, and it kind of blew your mind when you were like, oh my God, that's a good feeling. And it was like, you know, I'm a believer that when something's too good to be true, it probably is. So I just rolled over and went back to sleep. And then then I checked just to make sure. I was like, well, maybe something interesting happened. Maybe something big happened. So I hit a couple buttons, and I rolled over and I pushed Alicia. I nudged her. I said, babe, check this out. So I don't know if anybody else did that, but it was one of those days where even I couldn't believe it. I said, my God, what the hell happened overnight? Because I went to bed at 2:30 in the morning, and we already had a good day in store. Like I told you guys, you know, putting the politics to the side, you guys know how I feel about the politics. You know, I'm a believer you shouldn't give your Black vote away for nothing. But the Biden presidency was very good for the stock market. The certainty of the Biden presidency was a great thing. So we're already going to have a good day. I think the futures market predicted an opening of about 400 extra points on the Dow. That's really good. Like, that's a really good thing. But then this morning, I think they were talking about 1,400 points. I said, where did this 1,000 points come from? Well, finally, the vaccine arrived. The vaccine was like, you know, it's like Christmas, you know, like, you know, when you're a little kid, that Christmas time, you're going to get that new Xbox, or you're going to get that, you know, that new bike that you've been wanting or whatever. And Christmas arrived. I told you guys, I mean, I don't need my PhD to tell you this. I told you that when the vaccine gets here, what did I say was going to happen? It was going to pop up because you're getting rid of uncertainty. You're getting rid of fear. Fear is one of the big wealth killers that there is. I mean, fear is a killer it's a dream killer. It's a wealth killer. Like, fear is just a bad thing in general. So, you know, I just be careful. I mean, people that are scared money don't make money. You know, you ever hear anybody say that? That's really true in life. Like, if you're scared of everything and you move based on fear, then you're going to never really be able to grow anything, because you can't grow out of fear. You can't love out of fear. You can't do anything out of fear. So don't live in fear. Live with hope and possibility in what you can actually do. So a couple of interesting things that happened in the market. There was so much trading that TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, and Charles Schwab all had glitches, and they all went out today. That was pretty bad. That was a big mess. And so effectively what you had there was a situation where these companies had to go and apologize, and they're going to be all caught up in litigation because people couldn't get into their accounts right when the market was taking off. And now what I would suggest is, if you want to protect yourself from that kind of thing, if you want to protect yourself from, these glitches that can block you from getting access to your account, because Robinhood's had that issue. I put my money in different accounts, in different apps. I don't have all my money in Robinhood, or all my money in Stash, or all my money in Acorns, or all my money in E-Trade, or all my money in TD Ameritrade, or all my money in Merrill Lynch. I spread it out, right? And if you do that, then that allows you to have some moves in case the apps break down, because these apps, I don't really completely trust the technology, because I don't know if they've got it all figured out yet. So Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, and Fidelity have some explaining to do. And the worst time for it to happen is when the market's on a complete meltdown and you want to get out of your investments and you want to get access to your money. So with investing, one thing that's important is always have kind of a what if mindset, where you can always kind of have a what if, like, okay, what if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? Because something will always go wrong. Okay. Now, one thing I want to mention to you guys, if you're interested, is in the Black Business School, we have a Black Stock Market Challenge that's totally free, that you can feel free to give it a try. It's a 5-day challenge to step up your investing game. It doesn't cost you anything. So the URL is right there. It's blackstockmarketchallenge.com. So I encourage you to do it. I encourage your relatives to do it. I think it'll make a difference for you. I think you're going to be very happy with it. All the students who went through it before, they've all enjoyed it. That's totally free. So feel free to take a look. Now, moving on, oil prices are up. The reason oil prices are up is because with a vaccine, that means that people are going to get out and start living again, flying on airplanes, driving cars, living life. Well, that is a natural push up for oil prices. So if you own some of the oil companies, you probably saw some benefits there. There's some long-term concerns about that. The energy sector, though, even though energy benefited the most from this upward move, the Biden campaign is not exactly a friend to oil, right? They talk a lot about, clean energy and things like that, which I think is good for the world, but it's bad for that industry. So be really careful with the oil companies, but on a short-term basis, they did really well. Actually, I think that the energy sector did better than all other sectors. Also, if you recall, we had also been talking for a long time about the sectors and the types of companies that would do well. Some of the stocks that we talked about, like Pfizer, boom, took off. Disney, boom, took off. I've been a big Disney shareholder for a long time. Cruises, casinos, airlines, hotels, dating sites, all the things you can't do when you're afraid of catching COVID from somebody, right? All these things are now open. So the whole world is open. So that creates the upside of all these cyclical companies that weren't getting any play when the market was bad. Now, the thing is, those were the times that you could have bought those companies for almost nothing, because this was not something where there was the only uncertainty about COVID to me is, when is it going to come to an end? When are they going to be done with the vaccine? There wasn't an if, right? You kind of know that they're going to do something. Plus, I felt like they were playing some funny games with the election. I'm not going to lie. I just didn't buy it. I just didn't. Like, I saw the big crowds gathering at the White House, and I was like, wait, I thought we weren't supposed to have crowds. Wait a minute. Right, you were saying the crowds we're going to all die. So it doesn't mean it's not there. It just means that the media kind of is a culprit in terms of shaping people's thoughts and behavior. So now the CEO of Pfizer is having to answer questions, because a lot of people are saying it's awfully funny that you announced this right after the election, like right after the election is decided. That's right when you announced this. Is there any funny play going on? I don't know. Anything is possible, though. I mean, these people are pretty crafty and creative about how they release information. So don't put anything past them. But either way, though, I want you to win. And I can tell you that those companies, these were no brainers. These were easy predictions. Buying I bought a boatload of American Airlines, and guess what? American Airlines, boom. I bought a boatload of Carnival Cruise Lines. What was it? Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. A lot of the casinos. I mean, so right now these companies are doing well. Now, which stocks are doing badly? Well, the stocks that are doing badly were the companies that were the safe havens during the pandemic, right? The safe havens were the stay-at-home stocks, Zoom, Amazon, Netflix. All these companies did extremely well during the pandemic. Now that the party's over, or the pandemic party's over, now you're going back to real life, kind of, sort of, or you think you are. And that's another point I want to get to before we're done. You expect to get back to real life. And the stock market is typically built on expectations. Expectations can kind of drive everything. The two things that tend to move stock market prices are, well, actually three things: information, which shapes your expectations, and then when you get the realizations to compare to the expectation, right? So because I have this new information, I'm changing my expectations. And when I change my expectations, that changes the price I'm willing to pay. And then when the realization hits, when I see what actually happens and I compare it to what I expected to happen, then I adjust the price again, because the realization is the holy grail, right? So it's information changes expectations, which is compared to realizations, right? So if you give me more than I expected, then I've got to move the price up. If you give me less than I expected, I'm going to move the price down. So basically, you're now getting shifting expectations, because remember, COVID ain't gone yet. You know, that stuff is not over. It's just they announced that they have a vaccine coming. Vaccines are hard to administer, right? A lot of people ain't going to take it. I mean, a lot of y'all in here, give me a yes or no. How many of y'all going to take the vaccine? Give me a yes or no. I'm debating it. How about this? If I take the vaccine, I will probably be the 100 millionth person to take it. After 100 million people take it and they turn out okay for a prolonged period of time, I might think about it if I absolutely have to. But you know what? I work for myself. I work at home, so I survived this long. Maybe I'll take my chances. I had Nathaniel Jordan on, the Minister of Health, and he was talking about, ways to keep your immune system strong, right? And so I'm kind of into the health thing now, trying to be healthier. It's really hard when you grow up on a bunch of crappy food. And I personally just want to stay healthy and just see what happens. I'll take all my medication when I get old and I really need it. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, share and subscribe button. Also, I want to remind you guys, tonight we're doing our Black Business Pitch Competition, and I hope you'll come out and support these Black-owned businesses. We really want to support Black businesses and see them do well. And so one of the things we created was something called Life's a Pitch, and it's a pitch competition we do every Monday night at 8 o'clock on financialjuneteenth.tv.com. There's the URL, financialjuneteenth.tv.com. So please subscribe so that you can actually go to the pitch competition tonight with me and Lene Javette, and we're going to break it down. It's going to be awesome. So feel free to take a look, and then we'll also show you how to get invited so that you can actually pitch your business. And then we give them feedback, and the audience supports them. And it's just kind of building an economy. That's what you do. It's like building a culture, like having a party. We're going to have a Black Economic Party. That's my political party, the Black Economic Party. And we're going to just make sure that our people are good. So feel free to join us at financialjuneteenth.tv.com. Make sure you subscribe. All right. So what else is going on? So here's the deal, right? So you've got this great situation, this amazing pop in the market. It's been beautiful. Like you're feeling like Pablo Escobar right now. The downside is that market bursts tend to come with a bit of overreaction. The market's just really emotional. The market's like, I don't know, like maybe when Black people are voting or something, like, yeah, we get all emotionally triggered. The market's the same way. The stock market overreacts, and then it starts to come to its senses. And as it kind of sobers itself, it tends to go downward in a lot of cases. And then it also overreacts negative, right? It'll plummet like, oh my God, the sky's falling, the world's coming to an end. And then it happens. You have this horrible day. And then the next day you have a great day because it's like, oh, okay, it's not so bad. We're not going to die, right? So kind of like my 13-year-old. My 13-year-old, every other day it's like the end of the world. I don't know if anybody else has kids, but y'all know what I'm talking about. And then the next day she's totally forgotten about it. Well, the market can kind of do that. So a lot of these gains, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these gains disappear, particularly as the market kind of processes like what it really means to roll out a vaccine on an epic scale. Because against the release of the vaccine, it's the backdrop of the fact that the United States just, we got another terrible headline, 10 million cases in the United States, right? So we just passed 10 million cases. And that right there kind of creates this sort of panic state of emergency. Everybody's afraid, but that's against the hope that there is going to be this vaccine coming out, which is going to make everyone feel safe again. So I think it's going to, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a dip for the rest of the week, but my God, I mean, you did so well today. You made so much money today. And I also think that the other downside of this is that you're going to have a slowdown, a lower sense of urgency for the stimulus package. So during the lame duck session, all these worthless politicians that we have are all getting together, and they're all jockeying for position to decide how they want to do a stimulus package. They should have passed the dang thing, a month ago, but they didn't. And now they may pass something, but now I can see them saying, well, look, the economy is doing better. Everything's great now. So what do we need a stimulus for? They still need a stimulus. They really need it. But at the same time, the people are watching this, and the economic data is coming in is not as bad as people thought. So I'd be curious to see how this plays out. I really cannot say for sure. I think that this new information might have mitigated some of the fear. The big driver in the market to me is not so much what's really happening. It's about how people feel about what's really happening. Like I think that the amount of danger that you're in today, is not any different from the danger you were in yesterday. But now you've got a different set of headlines to process the danger with, and danger can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like if you really feel afraid all the time, then that's going to cause you to react in a certain way. Okay, so anyway, let's see here. Law says no vaccine for me. Now, someone asked what stocks am I picking and stuff like that. Let me think here. I picked the stock that I think it was Jumia Technologies or something. I bought that stock, but I bought that stock mostly because I wanted to actually write the call options on the stock. And so I don't really get into necessarily betting on which stocks are going to go up and which one's going to go down. I like to generate income from writing call options. So buying options isn't as interesting to me as actually selling them. So if you actually want to take a look at some of our options strategies and stuff like that, we actually have a program, blackoptionsinvesting.com. And that's where I actually show my process of selecting the options that I want to buy or sell, and then positioning myself in the stock so I can actually sell the options to generate the income. I like the income. I like the bird in the hand. I don't necessarily like to speculate. I'm not a gambler like that. I'd rather have things that are a sure thing, even if it's a little less money. But the downside of that approach, though, is like when the market pops off like this, I make money, but not as much money as I would have made if I had speculated, right? So in a way that every time you get a little more security, you lose a little bit more of the upside. But I'm okay with trading upside to protect myself from the downside, right? So if you want to take a look at our options program, it's blackoptionsinvesting.com. You can do the monthly option if you want to. The first month is $1, so feel free to go take a look at that. And also text the word Boyce to 31996. If you text Boyce to 31996, I'll send you guys updates every now and then. So take care, guys. If anything interesting happens, I'll let you know. I'll be checking in on the blackfinancialchannel.com a couple times a day at least, and letting you guys know what I'm seeing in the market. And also, if you're one of the students in the Black Business School, we'll be doing our Q&A tomorrow, where you can come in and ask questions, and I'll just answer questions the entire time. If anybody wants to join the Black Stock Market Program, feel free to go to that URL, theblackstockmarketprogram.com. Feel free to do that. And again, that first month is $1. I want you to try it out for $1. I just ask if you like it, if you'll stay, because we're actually really good at what we do. We are the world's leading experts on Black wealth. Like, we literally are better at this than anybody on earth. This is all we do. All we focus on is you. You are our top priority. So we're darn good at what we do. And if you're not happy, we give you your money back. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. Take care. And thanks for listening. I'll see you soon.